Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right. So, took care of grocery shopping at Target. Still a little lightheaded. Definitely adjusting my diet though, so I'm hoping it starts to show some benefits soon. No more buying seafood and stuff like that. I'll go a different route. More steamed vegetables is what I've been doing. And so we'll see. But yeah, man, I just wanted to turn on the camera, say hello, as I often do, see what comes out of my face. Usually something by the end of it. I don't know what it's gonna be this time, but I don't really have too much on my mind. I just continue to scroll through my phone, see stuff. Hopefully something will pop up in my mind that I've seen, bring about some type of content here. One thing I am noticing, I'll tell you the truth, man. One thing I am noticing is drugs, man. Not that that's new in any way, but people are really on pills right now. You can see it in the mannerisms, man. It's a certain type of tick, type of mannerism. Look like they're pop locking ever so slightly, or doing the robot ever so slightly. And I can always tell. Young people too. Some of them in really good shape, but they're on these pills and it shows. And I just want to encourage everybody to understand, as my boy T says, man-made drugs ain't good for you, man. First of all, you can't trust man to make drugs properly without throwing stuff in there that shouldn't be in there in the first place. That goes for pharmaceuticals and every different type of thing. And I don't trust it. It's one of the reasons why I'm hesitant to go to the doctor for my issue, because I know they're going to try to prescribe me some pills. The whole game is about prescribing pills and drugs. And it's not about making you necessarily well. It's about making the pharmaceutical companies wealthy. That's it. That's why I don't trust the medical system in this country at all. They want you to pay in to healthcare, which is a scam in every way, shape, and form. And furthermore, when you do, they want you to start getting on certain pills and certain types of medications, which 9 out of 10 times create more problems than they solve. I don't trust it. I don't trust them at all. I don't think that they have, particularly black people's health in mind. You know, a lot of times the stuff that they put in these drugs and stuff like that, they're not balanced for our bodies in a lot of cases, people of color. We require different things, just like we do for our hair. Certain times, depending on who we are and where we're from, will determine how well we react to certain chemicals, and how poorly we react to certain chemicals just the same, I believe. They're too busy trying to give everybody the same pills, and they have different effects on different types of people. And so for me, it's like the organic and the wellness way, more fruits, more vegetables, more herbs, is the way to try to handle most things that don't require surgery, in my opinion. With the exception of maybe cancer, for which it's probably in your best interest to just take the poisonous ass chemo that they have in these modern times, which is exactly what it is. It's freaking poison, but they give you a better shot at surviving, and so I've seen. So long as you can afford it. So long as your insurance doesn't conk out like my mom's did. As I told you guys many times that story, but I'm telling you, I don't trust healthcare in this country at all. First of all, it's run by genocidal maniacs. At this point, that part is really clear to me. Just like everything else, is IO's control. So with it being in their care, it's not of God. Clearly, not of the actual living God. So that's the problem I have with healthcare, modern day healthcare as we know it. I think it's run by a bunch of demons, man. I mean, you can say that it's here to save you, but it's really here to make pharmaceutical companies and insurance companies wealthy. That's really what the game is for modern day healthcare as we know it in this country. And they will pump you full of poison and steal money that you're not going to use for as much of your life as necessary, only for you to find yourself still dying of the same stuff that you're supposed to be treated for. It's not, or dying of the symptoms that come from taking the medications they prescribed you. It's not meant for nothing but your addiction in a lot of cases. And so that's why I'm like, man, my faith is strong in God. But the problem that my faith doesn't go toward is trusting man to care for me. I need to trust God is going to put the right people in my life to care for those circumstances. And my faith ain't where it needs to be when it comes to that. Going to the doctors and trusting they're going to actually have my best interest at heart? Hell no, I don't. But the essence of faith means that you trust God is going to put the right people there, as I already said. So that's when it becomes a struggle for myself. That's one of the reasons why I haven't gone to the doctor. It's not because I don't believe that it makes sense to go. I'm not one of the people that think, well, God is going to cure me if I don't go to the doctor. Not necessarily. No, probably not. But do I trust that doctors are going to have my best interest at heart? Maybe the doctors themselves, but not the people that pay their bills, not the pharmaceutical companies that they ultimately are aligned with in 9 out of 10 times, or the insurance companies that allow for me to either be seen by my doctor or not. No, they don't have my best interest at heart at all. Not at all. And so for me, it's like, I think that's what I've come to understand as I struggle with what I'm struggling with and not going to the doctor. It's like, I ain't afraid to be told no bad news. I'm more concerned about the pills they're going to try to get me addicted to. That's more like, if I'm afraid of anything, it's more like what they're probably going to try to do to try to cure me. It's probably make me sicker. That's what I'm wondering. And try to bankrupt whatever little funds I can scrounge up. And so that's ultimately what I'm here to say, that I've been giving some thought to it, and that's exactly what I've come up with. That I do not trust the pharmaceutical companies, healthcare as we know it in this country. I do not trust. I think they would just as well let me die or whatever I'm dealing with than to save me from it. Unless I have a requisite amount of cash leverage, which is everything in this capitalistic world of ours, to make it so that it's worth it for them to save my life, or whatever the case it may be. When you don't have that cash leverage, they really don't see much use for you. And so why would I give them even the remote smallest amount of my time for them to take what little I have, give me what terrible they have for that little amount, just for me to die the same thing any damn way? That's exactly what I think. And so I don't know if you should be following me on that. I don't think I always make the right decisions. I really don't. But as I try to meditate on why I ain't called a doctor yet, for the circumstances I've been complaining about, that's why. That's exactly why. Because I don't want no parts of the pills that they're inevitably going to try to put me on for whatever it is the problem is. No parts of it. I don't want the symptoms that come with it. You know, and that's also part of it. As we've already said a little bit of in this video here, they're going to give you all kinds of problems with the pills they give you. You might have a kidney issue or something like that. And the pills you take are going to have all different types of side effects and have nothing to do with your kidneys. Your whole body's going to be hurting, but your kidneys are going to be fine. Like, what kind of sense does that make? You ain't going to be able to sleep at night, but you can't perform in the bedroom, but your kidneys are alright. Like, and now you're addicted to them pills. It's like, nah, bro, nah. Save that. I'm good. Save that. And so that's where I'm gonna need to kind of win those battles against those demons that just don't allow for me to look past the reality of what it is I've learned about this country and how little they care about human life on a systematic scale, unless it has, again, cash leverage to make themselves worthy of being saved. And so I don't care for that. I don't particularly want to give myself to them in any way or trust my life in their hands. I don't think that my life is going to be safe in their hands at all. And so that's what I want to say to you guys. This is the God's honest truth, man. We got to do what we got to do to take care of ourselves so that we never get to a point where your body really needs to deal with any of them. That's why I tell people to stay off of fast food. Anything they put in a commercial, you probably should stay away from. If there's an ad for it, don't buy it. That's where I'm at with it. I don't see no ads for Fiji apples. It probably gets fine for me to eat that. But in American culture, particularly the food, they put so many unnecessary chemicals in your food Like stuff that's only there to slowly poison you, stuff that's only there to make you addicted to the food itself. Them chemicals are banned in like 70 other countries, but they put them in all of our food. Like if we don't see something wrong with that at this point, there's something wrong with us, man. Wonder why we having so many issues with our health and stuff like that. It's because they're killing us. As we've talked about a million times, bro. If there's a commercial for it, don't buy it. If an ad company that has a parent company that's owned by a Zionist is behind it, you should probably stay away from it. Because at the very least, it ain't of God. At the very least, it's of the devil, literally. I know a lot of people don't believe in that, and that's exactly what they need you to do, so you keep paying into it. That's exactly what they need you to do. But when you dig into the nitty-gritty of what they're about, then you find out, yo, that is the essence of Antichrist. They are the essence of the Antichrist. They do a lot of evil stuff for no reason other than to be evil. And this is how they fund themselves, off of your backside and your addictions and your needs and your willingness to go towards shiny objects for which they shine in your face. And so when you start to really understand that, pay attention to all the different things that prove that to you, then you look at them and you're like, okay, and I need to come to you for my health? I'm coming to you to nourish my body? I'm coming to you to sell me something that I'm going to entrust in? Yeah, no, they don't have my trust in anything at all. And so that's the problem. I'm in the belly of the beast, literally, when it comes to this type of thing. This is the belly of the beast. You're inside of it. And so as you understand that, you try your very best to avoid every single thing. Like literally every damn thing. Because that's essentially what this is ultimately taught me. It's probably for our betterment. If there's a commercial for it, don't buy it. So I've learned. In one way or another, you're paying into something that they control. In one way or another. See, life was so much easier when we didn't know they were genocidal monsters. You know what I mean? Like literally. When we could still lie to ourselves and tell ourselves that they actually had our best interests at heart, aligned with their need to wealth up and line their pockets. They also too might have some humanity there for myself. And now you see that they kill children for fun. It's like, nah, I don't get to lie to myself about that no more. I don't get to do that. I don't get to tell myself, well, you know, it might be some good attached to it. I mean, these thoughts that I have that they're the worst people in the world, it's not like that's been proven to me. Well, now it has. Yeah, it has. It has been proven that. That is exactly what it is. Everything they're selling you is demonic. Everything. Every single thing. Every single thing. And far be it from me to be disappointed in people who've been raised in their belly of the beast, who have not been awakened to these things, who align with them. I'm not going to be mad at Snoop Dogg. He don't know no damn better. He needs to. That's the reality of it. He needs to know better. But this is not the generation where we were taught better. We were taught to revere these people, to fear these people, and to align with them so that we can have everything that our dreams would desire. So when they come call and say, yo, people hate us, come do a commercial for us, a guy like Snoop Dogg will be like, for sure, y'all done made me almost a billionaire. Yeah, I'm coming through, for sure. That's all there is to it. Being aligned with those people has made him rich and famous beyond his wildest dreams. Why in the hell would he not support them when they say, yo, we are in danger, we need help? You got to prove to him that that's exactly what's going, that's not what's happening. And even in that, then you have to make him care about that, against that for which has aligned his pockets with wealth. In a world where you're taught, hey, every man for himself. This is why what they have in regards to that devotion is disappearing. Because unlike Snoop Dogg's generation, this generation of young people are watching them prove that they're awful human beings. And that what they do is silly in a million different ways. The selective outrage, their belief that they're better than everybody but still victims at the same time. Like, Snoop Dogg's grandkids' generation are going to understand that inherently, just like he understands he needs to revere them and do commercials for them and they'll make him wealthy. And they have his best interests at heart and all that. His grandbaby's going to know better. That's the reality of it. You hear a guy like Jerry Seinfeld say, I don't care about Palestine. Well, brother, the generation that made you wealthy laughed at all of your jokes. The generation that's watching you say that didn't watch too many of your episodes and wasn't raised in a space where you're a cool person. But they did see what the hell happened to Palestine. They know what your people did to them. So that ain't going to hit like you think it's going to hit, my friend. And if anything, the people who most revere you are on their way out. The generation you influenced, they're in their 60s now. They're not going to be around for much longer. And no, neither will you, thank God. See, you get to say stuff like that when people haven't seen the horrors that I have in regards to this conflict. When you say that, I think you're saying that about Hind. That little girl was shot 100-something times when she was calling for help after her family was shot up and she was trapped in a car where their dead bodies was in. Somebody came by and shot her 100-something times. That's who you're talking about, Steinfeld. You're talking about you don't care about her. You see what I'm saying? Not whatever warped propaganda makes you think that these are people that are looking to kill you. No. You're talking to people who know the truth about the lies that were told to you and then therefore also seeing what those people and those lies actually tumbled forward to do to young Hind, along with 100,000 other people in her race. When you say you don't care about Palestine, you got to know what is attached to that is the images of dead children that many of us have seen over the last 450 days. So that's what I would say to Seinfeld, like, just because you're warped by that demonic bullshit does not mean that any of us who've seen all of that are confused about the evil in your heart when you say stuff like that. And I say that to anybody who's Zionist. All of you. All of you. You need to know that you're warped by something that isn't true so that you would be aligned with something that isn't right. As long as you know that, you can stand on your evil deeds and that'll be what it is. But if you're confused by that, for which the essence of what you've been engaged in is confusion, so you likely are, you need to know that the rest of us have already been shown the truth to the lies that you have been grown to believe. That's the secret that a lot of you Zionists need to understand. We already seen that the shit you believe is a bunch of lies. We've already seen it. We've seen what it is that's been hidden from you. And we weren't warped by the propaganda that would allow us to believe that it's fine just because, or that we're aligned with it in some spiritual way because it's us doing it. No, friend, no. 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 That's the propaganda that was placed upon your head so that you would align with the slaughtering of Hind. I'm not rolling with that in any way. And I think that anybody who supports that is deeply demonic. Deeply demonic. And destined for a very, very bad end. And that is what I believe. Not because it was taught to me, but because I follow what the essence of empathy and the beauty and the love that comes with empathy for something that has nothing to do with me, something that may not look to save or end my life, but that it ends someone else's life. The essence of the love inside of me makes it so that I don't want it to happen. And any propaganda that's looking to deteriorate that empathy around me or selectively choose what empathy should be placed on whom based on books and things that have been written years before I came here, deteriorates the logic that the essence of that empathy is aligned with the goodness in the world around me, and furthermore, the ability for the world to survive around me. Because if everybody hates everybody, everybody's trying to kill everybody, ain't gonna be anybody here left. But everybody loves everybody, everybody's looking to save everybody, and we're gonna thrive. So the essence of that being my true north shows me that people like Seinfeld are a deterrent to the love in the world that ultimately keeps us all surviving. And furthermore, what it is that he believes, which is that all the people who of Palestine deserve to fall at the behest of his own survival, essentially is something that makes people hate him. Furthermore, if they follow him, hate Palestinian people, and then from there, it trickles down to the ultimate deterioration of humanity itself. And because I can think for myself, I can see that rather easily. Yes, the essence of what it is you believe is bullshit. I keep telling you, Zionists, this. You can hate me to the end of the earth, believe all the bullshit that's in your books, think that the essence of your humanity is based on your ability to rise above that for which is anyone else. But at the end of the day, that stuff deteriorates the world around you and thus deteriorates what it is that you feed off of, for which makes you wealthy. Because if it ain't nothing but us, or rather, if it ain't nothing but you in the situation, then how the hell are you going to stay wealthy? Your consumerism are the people that you belittle. So if you don't want us to survive, how the hell do you? You ain't thought that far ahead. Why? Because the book says you don't have to. You guys don't think for yourselves. You've been taught how not to. And that's the essence of what brainwashing is. And just because you were given that shit as little kids, you can't think your way through it, which is sad and stupid, but it is what it is. People like me are here to show you how stupid and sad that is, in hopes that you would change your ways. And just fathom the idea that maybe what I'm saying could possibly be true, given that so much of what it is that you believe doesn't come together any damn way. I'm telling you, man, it's going to be a lot of people that are going to mourn Jerry Seinfeld because they really enjoy the show. But it's going to be people like me who are not going to have a thing to say about Jerry Seinfeld when he passes away, because he's already dead inside. And that's the reality of the Zionist mentality. It kills the spirit. It kills what's in them that makes them human. It destroys it before they even get off the ground. The moment you decide that a child deserves to die so that you can survive, your spirit is gone, whether you believe that or not. And that includes Palestinian children. Yes, the ones that you call animals, yeah, them too. I know, impossible, right? How could anyone possibly value their lives? And that propaganda that made you feel like that's just an impossibility, yeah, that's poisonous. It's poisonous for your spirit. It's poisonous for your humanity. You should never have thought that way. No one should ever have taught you that. They hated you, and that's why they gave that to you as a child. It's the truth. Anybody who teach a child that hates the child. But y'all ain't thought about that, have you? Nope, you ain't thought about that. Too busy following. You ain't doing a whole lot of thinking. You just follow. It requires all of this to hit a freaking wall for y'all to actually see it as something that you probably should have steered away from. I'm telling you, man. I am not impressed by people like him or Michael Rappaport. I don't give a shit how long they've been in my face on Zionist-run networks. I don't care how much money they've grossed doing the things that they've done, or how many black people they stand next to while becoming as famous as they are. They are baby-killing bastards, given poison as babies themselves, and can't think their way through it. And that is exactly the truth about those individuals. That is exactly the truth about those individuals. And they believe that they're better than everybody else, and because of it, they have a right to harm certain types of people and give a damn about other types of people. And that type of selective humanity is something that I don't know nothing about. I don't have the ability as a person of black skin to align with the selective outrage that is pro-Caucasian. I don't have the ability to do that. I know a lot of y'all have y'all spirits wrapped up in that shit. It's like y'all souls. It's like you feel it in your soul that this is right for you. We black, I don't get that. That's not something I feel. My spirit ain't wrapped up in that at all. I've been paying attention to white folks when they say certain things. It was a program I was watching a couple weeks ago. This guy was talking about something. He said something spiritual about a certain type of thing that had white person pass down another thing that a white person was able to receive from another white person, how spiritually warm that felt, and how it felt like a spiritual attack when that situation was broken. Yeah, I don't feel that shit. No disrespect. That's not something that I'm gonna feel as a black person. No. My spiritual pride is not wrapped up in your supremacy. No, I don't feel nothing warm, tingly inside when I see white supremacy continue to rear its ugly head upon the spirits of people of color. So when you ask me to stand by idly while you selectively point out that Ukraine has been treated so terribly, while Palestinian people you have nothing to say about, I tell you that my spirit's not wrapped up in that, for which you do. So I can't look at that and say that's fine because it warms my spirit as a white person. I ain't white. You understand what I'm saying? My spirit ain't wrapped up in that shit. And that is the essence of the detachment of a lot of us to what y'all support, and vice versa. When you listen to the sound of your music, with the exception of those who were raised in our culture and who love our music, you hear something spiritual in that. That's what I'm starting to understand. In this conversation we don't have very much. White folks hear something spiritual in the sounds that they enjoy in their music. Just like Spanish people listen to something and they feel something spiritual, like this is meant for us. When we hear the sound of the drums as black people, we see it's meant for us. This is powerful. This is touching our souls and the essence of what we are as living beings. This matches. We have different things in that regard, and we don't talk about it, so it's not really understood. When I hear Mexican music, I just hear Mexican music. Depending on what type of music it is, that probably sound like noise to me. I'd imagine when they listen to the music that comes from my culture, unless they were raised with it and love it a certain way, it probably sound like noise to them. They don't feel nothing special to that. Do you see what I'm saying? There's a detachment to the spiritual connection that people have to certain things. And as it pertains to, and this is what I'm gathering, and it doesn't have to be true, but as it pertains to anti-black racism, something within the white spirit feels warm to that energy. It's like you're meant to be that way. Anti-brown, anti-Islamic racism, it's like y'all hover around that. Am I wrong? Please forgive me if I'm wrong. I'm telling you what I'm picking up on just by listening and paying attention to people. It's like y'all have a spiritual attachment to the racism itself. It's like you feed off of it, just like I feed off of the drum. Do you understand what I'm saying? And you define anything that comes against you as evil, no different than I define what it is that you do as evil. And so as we look at one another and we try to understand one another, there are mental understandings, cultural understandings, but there's a spiritual detachment in a lot of cases. To where you have your spirit wrapped up in these things, and I look at that as demonic. Do you understand what I'm saying to y'all? These are the most uncomfortable of conversations to have in the old world. But in the world where I've just witnessed 450 days of a genocide, I'm not afraid to say this. Because if these conversations were been had a little more growing up throughout the course of the time of my lifetime, maybe we could have deterred some of this attachment to that for which is genocide, based on spiritual connections to selective humanity in a pro-white way. We should have been telling y'all, yo, that shit is demonic. Ain't nothing good about that. That doesn't keep the world moving in the right direction. That deteriorates everything, including whiteness. The reputation of it, and therefore the existence of it. That is not something you align your spirit with or supposed to feel nothing warm, tingly inside about that shit. You're supposed to see that as something that's going to deter all of humanity and try to deter it out of your circumference. But like I said, some of us need to run into a wall before we understand we should have been avoiding that path. And as it pertains to racism, particularly anti-black, brown, and Islamic racism, that is a wall we need not run toward anymore. We don't need to be running toward that. That shouldn't give you a warm, fuzzy feeling of empowerment inside as a white person. That's not something you want for your people. It's a reputation for continuing to do that type of quote-unquote evil. It makes people hate you, and hate is something that deters our ability to survive, no matter who it's pointed at. It just trickles down to more anger, more resentment, and ultimately to destruction around us. War creates destruction. And what do you guys love to do but earn and build, well, you're going to deteriorate what it is you're building, because people are going to want to bomb the shit out of you for doing the evil that you do in the name of anti-black, anti-Islamic, anti-brown racism. Everything y'all about to build is going to be destroyed. But I guess y'all got to have to see that happen in order for you to believe that it should have been something you avoided. I'm trying to help us all in regards to that. So that there isn't a generation of brown people, black people, and Islamic people 200 years from now coming together to wipe y'all asses out, and vice versa. Because that's exactly what y'all trying to open us up to. And you got to know that too. A lot of the people that support anti-such and such racism want a war that not only they fight, but people who can't fight to fight. Can't you see how they're trying to rope you into having to shoot your gun off? In the name of some ridiculousness that should not be warming any of our hearts? Why people wonder why black people find themselves so frustrated when we see pro-whiteness. It's because it's always attached to an anti-someone else. It's not that we don't want to see any community come together for the betterment of themselves. It's that y'all come together for the worsening of other people toward the bettering of yourselves. It's not just, okay, we stand in our whiteness. It's always, let's kick other people out. Let's push other people out. Let's hurt other people. Let's stand on somebody else's back and exploit them. Every time y'all come together, that's what y'all looking to do. And as it pertains to this genocide, now you made it cool, so to speak, for me to have these type of conversations with you. I'm not ashamed of saying that. I'm not questioning whether or not I'm a good person for saying that. I don't think I'm a bad guy for bringing this conversation to my channel as a black person. No. Because I know myself well enough to know I'm trying to save your children too. And it's not just because I have a half Caucasian niece or Caucasian friends, little nephews over here that's gonna grow up to be white men. I don't have no problem with whiteness. It's just the essence of what it is y'all come together to do when y'all doing things in the name of your pro selves. It's always kicking everybody else out so that y'all can have a purity of your own. I don't see that with my Mexican brothers. I don't see that with my European brothers in a lot of cases. I don't see that with my Islamic brothers. They ain't like they saying down with the blacks every time we come together. It's y'all who do that. And so if the only way y'all can survive is if everybody else die, then you got to understand that you don't survive when that happens either. You don't survive when that happens. That's the lie that you believe, that you can make it without the people that you hate. You can't make it without the people that you hate. And I want to kick the Spanish people out. You need them for a million different reasons. Didn't that housing situation in Florida teach y'all anything, those who were paying attention to that? Y'all couldn't even finish homes that were already purchased because y'all had kicked people out on purpose, ruining your businesses. Can't you see that that's a prelude to what you're going to do if you kick out all the brown people? You stole the damn land away. The least you could do is let them work on it. Nah, y'all got to kick them out of the evil of your own hearts. It's a self-destructive mechanism within you. And I'm telling you, if you push everybody else out, all you're going to do is kill each other. That's all your ass is going to do. Is kill one another, man. If I go on my grave today, I did not want this to be something I didn't say several times. So that people who follow me, whatever color you are, understand that this is not just something I think. This is something I've been studying. This is something I've been paying attention to all my life. But it was never coof or righteous. It's always racist for me to say these things in the environment for which I was raised. But the environment in which I was raised was fine with Palestinian kids dying. I don't need to follow y'all no more. It's the same thing I was saying in my last video. If everybody around me smokes and I realize I benefit from not smoking, then I need to put down what everybody else is doing. This is the same thing. I don't need to not have conversations such as these. These are the most difficult conversations that are going to save millions of lives in the future. Here's a perspective that y'all need to understand is here. And a lot of y'all have been rocked to sleep by the essence of the racism, so you ain't gonna listen to anything that comes out of a black man's mouth just off the strength of it's a black mouth saying it. And that's the poison that keeps you from the wisdom that ultimately we provide. No different if we would shut you off if you had something good to say about our lives. It's not smart. Wisdom comes from many different directions, including that from which you consider your enemy. You'll be wise to listen to when he speaks, if he has something valuable to say. And that wisdom is deterred by the hatred itself. It's a self-destructive mechanism, as we've already said. So, of course, it's going to keep anything out that otherwise enriches the person who receives it. And that's why y'all shouldn't hover around racism like that, because it ain't really for your betterment. A lot of you, and I'm going to say this with a whole lot of confidence, a lot of y'all have your esteem and your ability to connect with one another attached to your ability to be anti-someone else. Y'all don't respect one another unless y'all disrespect somebody else. Unless y'all can stand on the backs of somebody else, unless you can belittle somebody else, unless you can make someone else feel worse about being, so that y'all can come together and trust one another. This is the essence of a poison that you're going to have to overcome somehow. Many of you already have, for which I give you all the credit in the world, in this world that doesn't allow for a whole lot of that. But the reality is you need to overcome that. Pro-whiteness is anti-racism, if you really want to know the truth. And I said that clearly. Anti-racism. You don't want no racism around you in order to inspire and uplift your community. You should be anti anything that otherwise puts anyone down at this point, because your reputation is that of people who put people down at all points. You need to know that. You need to believe it. The good and the bad, quote unquote, of white people. Y'all need to know that. Y'all, reputation is that of what puts people down no matter what. One way or another. Enslaving people, stifling from countries, pushing people away, coming together, surrounding whatever community of brown or black people and just burning crosses and stuff like that. Y'all gotta understand that's your reputation, not just in your own country, but around the world. And what that does to the prospect of having friends when the day comes where you'll need them. And aligning with Israel in regards to their genocide against black, brown people and Islamic people does not help at all America, specifically American white people. It doesn't help you. That doesn't help you at all. You need to shun that shit. Even if you ain't gonna shun most of what it is that we've been talking about in regards to racism, you definitely need to shun that bullshit. Siding with the 1%ers? That's where your racism should draw a line on that. You should draw a line there. You don't want to side with them for nothing. And I've said this millions of times. And I want everybody to hear me say it. They don't have your best interest at heart. They don't have your best interest at heart. And they don't look at you as them either. And it probably ain't in their benefit to tell you that. Netanyahu does not look at any of you white folks as his equal. Nor does he look at himself as a white person. He looks at himself as a Jew. You understand what I'm saying to you? His ass from Poland. A lot of y'all from Poland. My good homie that I'm referring to is from Poland. He's not different than my homeboy. But as it pertains to the ideology, yeah, he don't align with my Polish homie. Nah. Because my Polish homie ain't Jewish. And neither is he. But, again, you can't tell him that. And this is the essence of why Zionism is not the same thing as white supremacy. It's not. It ain't the same shit. It embodies the same types of things, but eventually it starts to deviate into its own thing. Much more sinister. A whole lot more sinister, to be honest with you. And I have not been addressing Zionism per se in this video. No, this is white supremacy I'm talking to. White America, UK white, that's basically what we're talking about. Western white. This is who I've been talking to in this video. Not the Jews or the Zionist Jews specifically, because that's a whole nother entity. They align with a lot of the same things, but like I said, they part in some things too. I want the people who care enough to listen to my perspective to understand. I'm not confused about whether or not I'm a racist or not. We've been coerced by way of our propaganda into thinking that anybody who says what I say with my skin is a racist. And that doesn't take into the essence of what it is I'm trying to accomplish when I speak. I'm trying to deter racism. I'm trying to save children who are going to grow up to be soldiers one day fighting in this ridiculous ass race war that y'all trying to strum up. Those people are babies today. I want to see them all survive and thrive. I don't see none of them lose their lives to none of this bullshit we're talking about. Unlike you, who have no problem with them dying so long as you can win. You know, a little race war or whatever type of bullshit you got going on. I don't want to win a race war. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have my esteem wrapped up in winning a battle against you. You understand what I'm saying to you? No. I don't feel good as a human being if I say, yo, I won that war. That's not a good thing at all. I don't want to win that shit. That's horror. That's demonic. That's the Antichrist in human form. Having us at each other's throats for something as stupid as skin. You understand what I'm saying to you? I don't think I could have been more clear. I don't have my esteem wrapped up in winning a race war, or fighting one, or supporting one, or standing by idly while one takes place, or any of that stupid shit. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? PDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.